exactly what Pred is going to be doing with Shift 1 or Shift 2. I know for Shift 3, we are not going to push any sweeping changes. Like,
Well, you can't.
exactly. That's the reality. Pred in the meeting when someone, I think it was Odette, asked like, "Are we still going to be operating as UPD?" Um, Pred started saying something, and I immediately piped up and was like, "Absolutely!" Like, what? There's no shot we're operating any differently than what we are
Can't
now.
afford
But
to do
we
anything else.
literally cannot. Exactly.
Unless there's a
Um,
major change in numbers and stuff, that's not really, you know, is what it is.
Yep. So ultimately, he's likely going to give it some time prior to making any changes. So, in my opinion, don't expect everyone to be demoted to officer and then put back into positions. I think he'll give people the opportunity to prove themselves in their current assigned positions, and if he doesn't feel that they're doing okay, probably move people around. That would be my best assumption. Um,
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
so, and again, I think that is the safest way to go about dealing with it because, I mean, if I'm being honest with you, I think it was very short sighted for Ruby to make those sweeping changes as the interim sheriff because it makes it so that with all of those high command slash command changes, it's then awkward if someone were to get further demoted or even promoted back to the position when the change was made by someone in an interim spot, you know?
True.
Um,
Yes.
so I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of that personally, but also, was it directive of the mayor? I wouldn't be surprised.
Probably.
Genuinely, I have no idea. And that also plays into the next aspect of Pred, which I questioned yesterday. Um, I brought up all of the things regarding me trying to push Turner to appeal the mayor's power to fire or demote or whatever. Um, if Turner follows through with that, here's the reality of the situation. If DOJ clarifies that they don't have the ability to fire outside of filing an ACR or impeachment and then them determining that it's worthy of being fired, Pred is likely going to be a long-standing chief of police, assuming he doesn't do anything stupid, worthy to get him fired. To be very clear,
Yeah.
It would also mean stability for both departments in general because of how the Constitution's written. It would apply to both counties because they're written identically.
Yeah.
And I think for the betterment of the PD, that is such a necessary thing to occur because a lot of people don't realize all of these changes in high command from the mayor have been uncontested. And it has essentially been assumed that they have the power without any clarity. And so, again, all of this could have been illegal, just no one has argued it. And I'm hoping Turner finally does. If not, I'm sure Pred will do something, maybe pissing off the mayor. I don't know what it'll be. And then maybe he can argue it. Who the fuck knows at this point? But yeah, TLDR, I know you said, change and all that. I expect some change. I don't expect sweeping changes because who the fuck wants to deal with another restructure to target the few?
I'm not expecting that. Well, the change I mean is that it's a complete change in leadership. We have a completely brand new ass chief and a brand new chief who was not part of LSPD or BCSO previously.
That is
I know
true.
it was in the past, but I think that freshness for me is a really positive thing for the LSPD. It's like fresh eyes looking at the department and making changes where they need to, but not ones that completely destabilize the department. That's not the kind of changes I like. I like the kind of changes that are calculated and have tact.
Yeah, I agree. The unfortunate reality is with the whole constitution and mayor shit, it's difficult for uh things to be calculated and have tact when one day he could just relieve Turner, and then Ruby's there for a week, and during that week, again, hypothetical, but he has Ruby demote people he doesn't like, and it's like, well, fuck.
Yeah, it seemed kind of pointless, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
because if
that's up to
again,
him.
if those people, I don't even know the full list of people who are demoted, but like, again, it just seems like a not very. There wasn't any long-term thought in that, in my opinion.
It seemed like a very quick decision. It kind of came out of left field.
Yeah, it's
But
kind of
you know,
like when Barrick was one of the first, or was the first chief of police, and I twatted against the mayor, who was Max at the time. Um, Twatting against him, to be very clear, off duty in my own home. And he called Barrick and pretty much told him to punish me. Um, Now, at the
freedom of speech.
time, things were written considerably differently. Um, but point still stands in that we should not have any chief of police or sheriff being forced to do anything by a mayor. And my conversation with Pred reiterated that the extent of his involvement in the PD is picking you, and that is it. If he wants anything else, he can kindly fuck off.
See, I don't know. I'm in a really, I feel like I put myself in a really tough position because I'm now in a spot where I have begun a transitional period. Well, I'm almost at the end of a transitional period, BCSO, and I'm not 100% sure if I want to go anymore.
I mean, if hopefully it's not about hurting anyone's feelings or like telling someone you were
Nothing like.
dedicating to something, because I think a lot of people would understand you wanting to give it a shot before making any long-term decision. But if you did transfer, I mean, I'd love to see you stay. I mean, obviously I'm currently in the BCSO right now.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to go straight up, I don't think anyone is gonna take issue with that. I'm a firm belief that if someone wants to transfer departments, like, I would never hold that against them.
Oh, I know that. And Pred said the same yesterday. Both of you pretty much mirrored. You almost said exactly the same thing on
It's
that.
not surprising.
Yeah, I would never expect that. It's not necessarily about. I mean, it kind of is about sort of hurting people's feelings. I don't want to let people down, you know. But at the same time, I need to do stuff that is for me in this city
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
100%.
Me leaving LSPD was never anything to do with LSPD itself. It was a change that I thought I should put forward for myself. But I'm not really sure if I necessarily need to change departments anymore, just because there's so much change happening with LSPD, and I feel like I've maybe jumped the gun a little bit. That's how I feel at the moment. So Pred said can take time to decide today, but he said that he would like me to stay in the LSPD, and that he said the stuff he's going to be doing will won't make me regret it or whatever. I can't remember exactly what it was, something along those lines.
I believe that.
I also I also believe that.
I very much so firmly believe. I mean, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I had this conversation with him yesterday, and I asked for, what do you anticipate doing? I didn't get a super long list. What I can tell you though is that if you don't know Pred all that well, this is going to sound really stupid, but I need you to hear me out. Pred is someone who is lazy in a good way. But again, let me explain. If you want to find the most effective, efficient way to do a job, hire a lazy person. Okay? Reason being, Pred is not going to put the entire weight of the PD on his shoulders because he's lazy. And he doesn't want to do all the paperwork. He doesn't want to do every aspect of the job. What he will do is delegate and put people in positions, but additionally not micromanage. Will he ask P&T to fast track someone? Sure. Who hasn't? But he won't sit there and be looking over P&T's shoulders at all times to see who's coming in, because he's trusting that the people he put in those positions are going to do those things and not require consistent oversight. His level of laziness has resulted in him picking people who are really fucking good for the position, so that he doesn't have to do it. And he knows that if he had to pick someone else to do those jobs, that's more work that he has to deal with, which again, he's lazy. And when I say lazy, I mean like long-term lazy. He doesn't want to deal with those super long-term things. He wants to deal with what's in front of him, the complaint that's currently in front of him, the current goal that he's setting for the PD, something that he's trying to get for the PD, right? Like he wants to deal with the immediate things in front of him without being sidetracked and pushed to all of the additional aspects of the police department. Pred can sit in an office for hours. 1,000 pings could go off and he won't care about a single fucking one of them if he's sitting there talking with someone about problems of the PD or things that we can improve or brainstorming ideas. In saying that, though, he'll also be able to flip a switch and be able to respond to 1,000 pings in a day, and actively, you know, converse with people and pull them into interrogation rooms. And yeah, he might have someone watching over the interrogation, writing everything down so that they could write a search warrant. But again,
he knows how to delegate that.
He's going to make sure that the people who are involved are capable of doing those things. And if not, will he do the training himself? No. Will he put people in charge who can do the training? Absolutely. Oh. That's Pred. He will never turn you away regarding anything with PD. Despite what, you know, when he wasn't in PD, him fucking over the BCSO, that's typical Pred. Do you know how Peter's transferred departments temporarily, and when he went to BCSO, it was kind of like fuck LSPD?
Yeah.
That's Pred's way of life, in that whatever team he's on is his team through and through.
Yeah.
I know him way too fucking well. Like, way too well. I know if and when he's lying to me. Doesn't happen often. Rarely ever. But I know when he's not telling the full truth. And I firmly do believe... I sound like a fucking politician. Holy fuck. I genuinely believe...
That role.
Yeah, I genuinely believe that... this is probably the next best person, as long as people do give him the opportunity to prove himself. I will flat out say, and this is something I said 6, 7, 8 years ago, do I believe he earned the position? No, but I will never doubt his ability to actually follow through and you know, be capable of doing the position.
That's a good way to say it. Yeah, you're not really helping me, Rhodes. I'm not gonna lie. You're making my this is really making things difficult. Well, you are helping me, but in
the direction of not, yeah, yes. I know. Listen, you want someone who's gonna be there every fucking day, that you can approach with it. Listen, this whole like premiere thing, I guarantee we approach Pred and he's immediately like, why the fuck are we restricting premiere? Tell you what, let's just get him in a fucking CVPI one day without any upgrades and say this is what a bunch of officers deal with, and then get him in a Taurus
with every car.
And then do the exact same thing, and then get him in a premiere. And when he notices the difference and he realizes this has to be the standard, like maybe cadets don't drive them or something. Like, I don't fucking know, but like premiers need to be for officers and deputies.
Yeah,
I
I agree.
guarantee you he would not be opposed to that at all.
No, he didn't come across as the kind of person who would be. Um, like on the stage yesterday, he was saying, was Carmine would shout, "The besties are over." He also hired Carmine again yesterday, which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that at all.
Yeah, I just, I don't know. He has a lot of aura, and I think that's what the LSPD needs in a leader right now.
I agree. I think Turner did a incredible job, sort of setting the foundation of the LSPD for as long as he did. And don't get me wrong, I would fucking love for Turner to still be the chief of police. Um, but I also think this is sort of like me sounding like a politician. I think if there were ever a time for there to be someone with the set of skills that Pred does have, I genuinely think now would be the time, right? Turner's out, has no interest in returning. Um, we have a fairly solid foundation despite the shakeup, that Ruby, emotions and stuff. Um, and now we sort of just move forward with Pred and see how that goes.
Yeah, I can tell you though, I
He's good at
definitely don't want
rallying
to be
people,
an LT anymore.
as in like you're tired of the drama.
No, I mean I'd still want to be a sergeant. The lieutenant stuff is because of the Miller situation.
Oh, okay.
I lost a lot of confidence in myself during that, Rhodes. That was really bad. I could have
As in
prevented a lot.
you doubted yourself, or like what's the context?
I doubt myself now. Like I should have been able to prevent all of that from happening, but I didn't see an issue with any of it, and yeah, allowed everything to go on. So
Um, I unfortunately don't have much context. I have some context, not a whole lot. Um, I mean, I was in one of the meetings with Davenport and Maple and Opal and Knight, and Knight was sort of providing some detail, intentionally avoiding saying the officer's name, and then Opal walked in, and then Opal mentioned the name, and so like it was sort of like a very thinly veiled attempt at hiding the name, and then it was just torn down. um, and
sorry, I
then
gotta pause you for 1 second
no, you're
because
good.
my robot has just picked up something at my house. I think my cat's gonna do a shit on the floor. 1 second.
Yeah.
Resolved. Thank God the robot opened the back door for them to go outside. Amazing.
But it was kind of odd because Knight was kind of grilling Opal because she was present, and I had very specific questions for Opal, who was present, and it didn't sound like anything Opal said was like satisfactory to Knight. Um, like for example, when Knight was saying stuff, I kept asking like, was this stuff done with malice? To which he would say yes, but Opal, when she was in the conversation, said no because I think a lot of aspects of our jobs require us to um, not necessarily assume, but like we have to make judgment calls day in and day out, right? As to whether or not someone is doing something intentionally, with malice, without, right? Like we have to make those judgment calls. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. Um, so like when Opal was clarifying, and I said, like, do you think this was something done with malice, or she's like, no, like confidently, just no. And I sat there and I thought to myself, okay,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I did
Um,
resolve everything with Brian. Had a really good conversation with him. Um, it came across to me that he just wanted, the best for Miller in that situation, and that wasn't what I thought it was, which was what we thought he wanted him to get fired. That wasn't the case. And I don't know. I just the other thing I was thinking about the lieutenant role as well is, when Ruby got interim chief, I was like, well, it might be time for someone else to give that role a try. I've done it for a while. I didn't particularly want it in the first place, but also when the position became open when Viv went to BCSO, there wasn't really anybody else to fill the role. So I said, okay, I'll do it. Yeah. So I think I
question.
thrive the most. Sorry, good.
Um, has there always been two captains in Shift One?
Two captains.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the roster, it's listed as Maxwell and Trig, and they're both listed as one.
Oh, Triggs. Yeah, yeah. But from what I heard from, I don't know. He hasn't been around in a long time, so I'm not sure what he's up to.
Yeah, that's.
I assume he's just busy. I don't think we necessarily need two though.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just taking a look at the roster because I'm also like, trying to see who, like, if not you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would, much like Pred, would love for you to stay lieutenant, but as someone who has been pushed into positions where I fell upwards, I also fully understand where you're coming from. Um, I mean, there's definitely some very capable people in Shift One. It wouldn't be.
Mm.
Huh.
Davenport would be my suggestion for a replacement. To be honest. Um,
For lieutenant.
yeah.
Yeah, but he's 3.
He's been a lot into one recently too, like all the way up
Really?
to Tsunami. Yeah.
Who hurt
And
him?
I asked him if he would. I asked him if he'd ever want that role, and he said yeah. So
Yeah, I'm gonna
definitely an
be
option for you
real.
guys.
One thing to consider is that for the longest time, not the longest time. Let me clarify. Uh, since Lucas has been gone, we've had no high command presence in 3 at all, which is
Yeah.
problematic. I mean, I would obviously have that role, but like, I also don't understand the concept of not just having one captain
Yeah, I don't know what the
per
thought
department
process
per
was
shift.
behind that. It's tough. Either way, I think I thrive the most in a sergeant role, because I can just
Hmm.
support people in that. That's where I feel the most comfortable person.
I don't blame you. You not having to be. I mean, right? People follow chain of command. They go to a senior. If they can deal with it, great. If they can't, they're speaking to a sergeant. If those
Yeah,
sergeants don't have the answer, they're ultimately all then funneling up to you. You're sort of the end point at the flow chart before it eventually reaches high command.
pretty much. And it's
Uh,
not. I'm not. It's not the problems that people bring to me that's the issue. Um, I don't know. I just think I don't really want that for me in my life. I feel like I've been and done all that, and that's why I've always said no to high command offers, and I've had a lot of them recently as well. Um, and I don't know. I think I just thrive the most in a sergeant role where I can actually just support people and be there for people and help them succeed and that kind of stuff. And that's really what I enjoy. Um,
Fair
Leading a
enough.
shift or a department just isn't for me anymore.
Uh, King, I hope you don't say that solely based on the Miller situation.
No, no, it's not just because of that. It's part of it for sure. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. But I think it's also for my own mental health, wellness.
I'm with you. That's why I ain't considered a high command position for over a year and a half. Actually, not
Yeah,
even command until I don't know how many weeks it's been. But anyways, yeah,
yeah,
no, I totally understand where you're coming from.
yeah. And I
Um,
know people are like, well, what's the difference between lieutenant and sergeant? True, not a huge amount, but lieutenant has its own challenges, and if you're expected to be the head of the shift, that's its own other expectations and stuff I just don't necessarily want to deal with. Whereas being a sergeant, as I said previously, you can just support and you don't have to be the forefront of everything going on.
Yeah.
That's the main point.
Yep. I'm a
Um,
1000% with you on that.
I also don't think I really need a rank to get anything done. I've
Also
never really
very
felt
fucking true.
stifled, and I don't feel like I need a rank to tell someone they're being a dumbass either. So that's good. I've had a lot of really nice feedback from people. Ruby said some really nice things because she said she was speaking to people about me, and obviously not just me, but other stuff as well. But people were saying some pretty nice things in Shift 3. Also, I haven't had a chance to speak to you about this yet, but when I was kidnapped, they tried to debate me using you as an example. They said to me, a lieutenant has been talking shit about you. I was like, who the fuck's that? They don't know what they're fucking talking about. And then they were like, well, it was Rhodes. I was like, there's no way Rhodes was talking shit about me. I don't believe it. And he said, no, he was actually saying you're a trustworthy cop. I was like, okay, well, yeah, I fucking do it. And he said, why did you jump to conclusions? And I said, I don't know, because I jumped to conclusions.
I don't understand. You know what's crazy? I was with Odette. There's a situation at up in Adam off of Las Lagunas and like Vinewood, Eclipse, like right on that corner. I showed up because I think people were collecting evidence, and then Odette was inside. I go inside, and then there's two people. There's the female who I believe to be Luna, and then the male, which is Grim. Grim was like grilling me. Like, what's your name again? What's your badge number? And then like clarified like certain things. He started asking shit like, oh, what do you like doing in your free time? When you're not at work. And I'm like, okay, bud. Then it all like all the pieces of the puzzle fell into place because I had no idea who I was speaking to originally. Then I realized that female was the one who owned that vehicle that we found on Eastbourne during the HVAC stuff that eventually led to Davenport being shot with the shotgun at that building, and then us getting them like that. When all those pieces of the puzzle clicked, I sat there and I was like, holy fuck. I pretended that we had a call to respond to. And then, we all left because I didn't want them. So one of them was pulling out their phone. I didn't want them setting up to like ambush us when we walked out.
I'm glad they didn't.
So I'm not at all surprised that happened. They tried saying shit about a situation with a parked car or some dumb shit. I provided my genuine feedback. But it sounded like they were upset with something that someone did recently. But also, given my involvement in that in the Eastbourne HVAC stuff, and the fact that they were very interested in who I was, I suspect that they're going to try to do something to me.
I can tell you why they were prying if you want.
Yeah.
They are. It's basically so that I made that phone call to Luna and said, "WTF are these signs, mate? Not cool, mate, etc."
Right.
And then there was that call that happened while I was sort of getting ready for my day at Mission Row. It was the HVAC thing that turned out to be a 78, which I did respond to. They said to me that their car was pre-boxed, whatever the fuck that means, at the HVAC robbery without any alarms going off. And I was like,
What
okay,
did you just
I wasn't
do?
there. I don't really give a fuck, frankly.
Happy birthday for the 70 months.
And then he said that he blamed me solely for escalating that call and getting his wife shot.
Number one, she got herself shot, to be clear, because they were, I don't know if they communicated this to you, but when the shooting happened, they were separated. He ran towards the property. She ran towards the alleyway in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
When he shot, then she shot. Like, she could have kept running on foot, no problem.
I told him he was the reason she got shot. He did not like that. I was actually waiting for him to get back from hospital to PD because I was going to go into the cells and say, you got your wife shot again, dumb fuck.
I don't understand. These
So
are
he
people
might be
with
looking for the boxer, and I suspect you are that boxer.
yes, 100%. So the context was all of the signs. You called someone who's advertising ADMC, which was her. You had said her name. We saw that her vehicle at on Eastbourne. I remember the exact spot.
Yeah.
I don't recall if we pre-boxed it. That is a possibility. Um, but ultimately, when they took off, the reason we were aggressive was because she clarified to you, from my understanding, that officers would get shot.
Correct. That's
And
what she
at
said.
this point,
Those are our signs. Okay.
I'm of belief that they are armed and dangerous.
Yeah.
And guess what? They were.
Yeah. They're saying that that call, that HVAC call, is why there was never going to be a conversation between myself and Shang. Because they're saying that me
You
phone
didn't even have
calling.
involvement.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
That's the crazy thing. They're saying that that phone call to Luna and then the HVAC call afterwards said to them that we were escalating and there would be no conversation. So they escalated as well, which is kind of moron thinking. Let's be real. Because I was said to them very clearly in the cells, I'd be very happy to have a conversation with Shang and resolve everything. I was very forthcoming with that. And so were they. So I don't know. Fuck them. Yeah. Fuck them.
It's silly. It is silly, but
Yeah.
either way, I mean, listen, I'm no stranger to having to look over my shoulder when I'm refueling.
Yeah. Don't go to Strawberry. That's what they got me.
I'll go to Strawberry, but I'll make sure I got units there. Or if people are on stuff, I'll make sure to ask for a radio check. And if I even see a vehicle approaching, it's being called out immediately. Espino's locating that vehicle though was so it was so good. The crazy part is they ended. I don't know if Espino's explained it to you or if you heard on radio, but um, he's like, I got a Buffalo leaving like the airport. I forget from which side. He tried to pull him over, and they got out and started blasting.
Yeah. They said it was flag stolen as well or something. So I was really pleased with how PD responded to that. I felt very, very proud of everybody involved. Getting those two was very, very good step. Very good.
Yeah, especially given the circumstances. And the crazy part is, like, I don't know if they. You were taken from the Strawberry gas station, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if they brought you to the airport knowing that you do air related stuff, but like
Maybe.
if you really think about how smart of a play that is, no one's going to sit there and question you being at the airport.
Yeah. They were saying to keep my radio on as well, and if anyone asked me to say Ocean King, which I thought was kind of smart.
That actually brings me to something that I believe should have always been a thing, but never has been. A way to communicate Ocean King, but realistically, it's a low-key 78 call.
Could do something like, yeah, I'm good.
I mean, think about it, right? Like if you had just said, they're asking for me on radio, and then you said, I'm okay, instead of Ocean, like it's something subtle that they would never know, like to the untrained person. Unfortunately, I think that would probably be leaked fairly quickly, but like, you know, the point I'm trying to get. I mean, we've previously had someone call out. Was it Richard? I think Richard at some point, if it wasn't Richard, it was someone else, called out a 10 code. Yes, it was Richard. He got kidnapped by, I think, Besties off of somewhere, and he ended up being on the mountains east of Fort Zancudo. I want to say it was Besties, and it may have been Idiot or something. And he gave a 10 code that no one fucking knew, and then he didn't say much afterwards. And we knew, despite it not being a 78 call, that it was a 78 call because of that. I'm just saying, I think we can standardize something like that. If I say I'm okay instead of Ocean King, no, I'm in trouble. Okay? That's gonna be the reality. Okay is not okay.
Well, that's true. Right, I need to get ready for my day now.
Yeah,
I
you're
just
good.
wanted to tell you all of that. I just need some time to think about it, I guess, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. Take however much
I
time you
just
need.
I don't want to upset anybody, especially Nikki, especially
Oh,
Stevie.
listen. I understand. I had a conversation with Nikki earlier. She was the one talking about the premiere.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't
I
surprise me.
understand.
Yeah. God fucking damn it. All right, I'm leaving the office now. I appreciate you. Congratulations, by
No
the way.
problem.
Well
Thank you. I
deserved.
appreciate it.
All good.
I'll
I
see you
said to
out
Pred
there.
yesterday, I was very impressed that he peer pressured you into getting the role. So good. Well done. Good shit. I'll have I'll have an answer for you by the end of the day. Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Hmm. Um. We have a few things. Was it? Um. Hmm. Uh. Yeah. Sorry. Hmm. Uh. What's the term I'm looking for? Um. Hmm. Let's see. What else? A rare roads to-do list. You're not wrong. I don't like that. Um. Hmm. Roster. Hmm. Um. I don't think I have any other names for 3. Can't be Hastings. Can't be Garcia. Can't be Brandy or Montez or Betty or Rose Asher. Pins Martin. Reed Ricky. Mendez, Anita, yeah. No. Chance would not get lieutenant. Chance has slight overlap in 3. Though I'm not gonna lie. Corver is a sergeant. Not a bad idea. Sorry, chat. Um. SOPs. Let's see. Oh, actually, you know what? This is probably one of my biggest issues. In fact, I'm gonna put it at the very fucking top in bold. Uh. If actually. Uh. Should I word this? Essentially, what I'm trying to say here is with. I fucking hate this. We'll underline this while we're at it. Um. Um. What else? What else? What else? Hmm. Uh. I'm not going to be the one to do this personally, but specifically, whoops. Required. Mm, uh, sure, because it's sad that we literally don't have this. This is actually fucking crazy. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I pull up SOPs right now. I type in Premiere. Nothing. 0 out of 0. Reports. Premiere. Hold on. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. There. 4 months. Premiere usage 8 months ago. Announcement made in November clarified that FTOs may use shared premieres that the LSPD provide, but FTOs were not cleared to buy their own premieres. The only people who should be owning premieres are Senior Plus. They're right here. I don't even see the original thing. Oh, it's a command report. Hmm. Hold on. So, Ruby did adjust stuff on the first. And I think it's a very solid change. It has updated certain things. Documenting scenes, large evidence box. Okay, that one's actually... I'm not kidding. Large evidence boxes can only be used with high command approval, primarily to be used in raids. I, I I'm sorry, but in what world? In what world? High command. Listen, I understand command approval. High command approval is wild. Doesn't reach hack. Guys, listen, I'm focused. I'm referencing SOPs and I'm referencing my private list. You know, the private report that Frost doesn't want us to have. Hide the list? Sure. um let's see. I'm sorry, chat. I'm I'm looking at other SOPs. Actually, wait, hold on. I have a good one. I have a good one. Let me just reference our SOPs. One moment. Okay. Oh, fuck. Chat, I still have a thing to FOIA. One moment. Let me get that done before I forget. Reports. Yo, it's kind of... I ain't gonna lie, it's rough because I see every channel in the NoPixel Discord. I never see the ads. I'm not kidding when I tell you this, chat. So in our FOIA stuff, people always write you have 24 hours to acknowledge this message. You have up to 72 to send it. It was sent at 5:17 my time, and I saw it at 5 p.m. my time. No, it's not muted. It's just I get so many notifications, and I'm also on desktop. This person, I'll put the link in chat. Hold on. This is my desktop notification on or for Discord. It's never not that. So I genuinely don't know when something new comes in. Okay, and because support tickets and all that stuff ping me on the NoPixel Discord, I never see FOIAs. I have caught every single one though, thankfully. Harry Cooper. Incident. Why? Because there's so many fucking things. He pled guilty. Old? I remember the fucking wizard. Was still legally parked. Where are the photos? Because we did take them. Incident. Whoops. Fortunately, the tire was touching the curb. Unfortunately. That his vehicle was being impounded, then jumped into... Traveling. Eventually, vehicle had been... Where are... What date was this? Sharex. Open folder 826. So 8 here. I have way too many fucking photos. 26. Oh, right here. Perfect. We even have the fucking vehicle. I don't know about the start of this song. Fuck with this one though. Sharex. Why? Hold up. Does this work? No. Uno momento, chat. I'm trying to get the link to old ShareX photos. Image history here. Holy fuck, there are so many photos. Found it. Copy. There. And then there. Do. Possessions. Not a very efficient way to do this. I'm being entirely honest. But I don't really have another... Hold. Okay. We are almost done. Sorry, chat. I do apologize. All right. Uh, do. Possession of 35. Harry was also in possession of 1698. What are they? Rolled bills. I think we're good. Export. Download. Do. I don't know about that song. Honestly, I fucked with the song that was playing not long ago. Was it this one? Question mark? FOIA. Let's reference this real quick. All right. Export the report. Create a document on your phone, paste the link, and then permanently share with the person requesting a Vice State ID. Then call and text the person. Uh, All right, let's copy their info from the Discord. Ali Spartan.